The final three head-to-head duets from teams Niall Horan, Snoop Dogg, and Reba McEntire marked the end of The Voice Season 28 knockouts on November 24. Mega mentors Zach Brown and Joe Walsh aided with the rehearsals that helped identify the teams that would advance to the playoffs. Instead of using a steal or save button, the coaches in the knockouts used the new Mic Drop option to nominate one of their champions for a chance to perform at the Rose Parade, which was decided by the audience. After a beautiful performance of Stevie Wonder's Don't You Worry About a Thing in Part 2, which aired on November 3, Michael Bublé gave the mic to 14-year-old Max Chambers. Based on their harmonies in Lady A's What If I Never Get Over You, Niall awarded the trio DEK of Hearts a chance to perform at the Rose Parade in Part 3, which aired on November 10. Reba pressed the button for Aaron Nichols during his rendition of Hurricane by the Band of Heathens in Part 4, which aired on November 17. Nothing could have prepared you for the final confrontation of the round. A night full of incredible singers, last-minute steals, emotional gut punches, and one moment that will go down in the history books of The Voice, if you thought the knockouts were already intense. Yes, we are referring to Coach Snoop Dogg's astounding Mic Drop nomination. When he declared Yoshihana the night's top performer, he virtually set the stage on fire. Not only did the audience in the studio applaud, they yelled. They left the coaches dumbfounded. What about social media? Let's just say that TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter all went viral. Tension, tears, victory, and a performance so powerful that even Snoop felt obliged to provide an official Mic Drop were all there in this knockouts finale. This is a detailed account of the night's events, moment by moment. A night of knockouts is already heating up. All four coaches, Snoop Dogg, Gwen Stefani, Reba McEntire, and Michael Bublé, were aware of the oppressive pressure going into the last knockouts episode. The number of spots available for live performances was decreasing. Competitors were starting to crumble under pressure. And the knockouts have always been the stage where dreams either come true or fail. An electric current was flowing through Studio 12H from the evening's opening performance. This feels like a finale, not a knockout, Carson Daly himself declared in jest. The audience concurred, perhaps feeling that something remarkable was about to happen. Each competitor appeared to arrive with increased vigor. But what Yoshihana was about to unleash was completely unexpected. The build-up, powerful acts, difficult choices. Gwen gave a standing ovation as Reba's soulful cowboy crooner sang a country classic, setting the tone for the first knockout group. Fans had never seen Gwen's musical powerhouse show such vulnerability in a stripped-down ballad. Next up was Michael Bublé's group, which had a jazz-influenced folk singer competing against one of the most reliable male voices of the season. "This is why I have stressed dreams," Michael said dramatically as he hemmed and hawed and buried his face against the desk. "Welcome to coaching, nephew," Snoop murmured to him as he leaned over. However, the excitement that changed when Yoshihana's knockout was revealed was even more than even these impressive performances. The air seemed to get thicker. It seemed like the lights were brighter. The audience took a seat forward. There was an impending event. A superstar from the first breath. Yoshihana enters the ring since her blind audition, when she skillfully combined pop, soul, and R&B into a stunning package. Yoshihana has been a fan favorite. In the knockouts, though, she was a completely different creature when she arrived. What tune did she choose? Destiny's Child's eerie, reworked rendition of Survivor. Not merely a cover, but a reworking. More cinematic, darker, more moody. This type of layup causes coaches to look at one another with that, "Oh, this is going to be serious" expression right away. She demanded complete quiet from the first murmur. Each line seemed like a confession. Every run seemed purposeful. Even Gwen Stefani, who is often outspoken and self-assured, covered her lips and froze in place when she heard the intensity of her tone. Members of the audience practically stood up like a wave when the high note hit because it was so pure, so crisp, and so emotionally intense. "What happened?" Gwen mouthed. Stunned, Michael Bublé leaned forward. "It's artistry," he muttered. Reba touched her own heart. With a smirk on his face and his hands linked behind him, Snoop conveyed the message. Wait for it. Yoshihana burst into a frenzy by the last chorus. Her final note vanished into a whisper after cracking open like thunder. It was a performance that combined restraint and power. The studio erupted in applause after she was done, after a half-second of silence. Normally cool and collected, Carson Daly seemed shaken. He remarked, "You just broke this room." He was correct. The coach's reaction. An uncommon display of complete unity. After Yoshihana's performance, the coaches, who frequently quarrel, responded as if they were all four witnesses to a miracle. Gwen Stefani, a devotee of poignant pop narratives, couldn't speak. "You didn't perform that," she remarked when she eventually regained her voice. "You turned into it. Places I didn't know could get shivers are giving me chills." Ever the technician, Michael Bubló's eyes were wide. "Your control, your inventiveness, your accuracy. I've never witnessed a better knockout effort in any season than that one. You told a whole story up there, honey," observed authenticity queen Reba McEntire. "I experienced every moment of it. This is my stage," you declared as you emerged. However, everyone awaited Snoop. This was his knockout team after all. He said nothing. Thoughtful. Then he got up. The audience let out a gasp. Coaches leaned in. Slowly, Snoop remarked, "You know I don't usually do this in the knockouts. But what I just witnessed." He halted, turned to face Yoshihana, and said something that became one of the most famous phrases in The Voice's history right away. "That's it. It was a genuine mic drop. You have my nomination for mic drop of the night." The crowd went crazy. Yoshihana broke down in tears. Gwen fancied herself as though she required medical attention. The mic drop isn't a term used in the concert. It's merely Snoop Dogg's swagger and recognition that expectations were crushed by what had just transpired. And the internet took off with it right away. The results of the knockout. A choice that startled the room, even though Yoshihana was amazing. The round ended in a knockout. As a result, she faced another competitor, someone who was powerful, worthy, and, regrettably, standing next to a loud cyclone that only comes around once a season. Her opponent had one of the season's cleanest tones and was a soulful R&B vocalist. He also gave a stunning performance. In a typical situation, he could have prevailed. However, this wasn't typical. Yoshihana's night was this one. Snoop sighed, obviously conflicted. "This is one of those times," he remarked. "One of those painful decisions. The winner of this knockout is Yoshihana," he said after that. The audience let forth a roar. In an unexpected turn of events, however, Gwen and Michael simultaneously pressed their steel buttons to save the evicted singer, which resulted in a humorous tug-of-war in which they each attempted to compliment the competitor more than the other. Gwen sprang out of her chair and cheered when he finally selected her. Reba laughed and shook her head. "This knockout's ending is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen." Snoop's mic drop. Seasonal implications. Not only was it a humorous moment when Snoop nominated Yoshihana for the mic drop, but it also made it very evident to the other coaches and competitors that Snoop Dogg was here to win the season. And the secret to that strategy may lie in Yoshihana. Her knockout demonstrated. She has a distinct style. Her voice is excellent. She chooses songs without hesitation. She has the ability to control both emotion and the stage. She was instantly hailed by fans as the future winner, performance of the season, and performance of the night. Snoop's mic drop blessing was even compared by some to a prophecy. And truthfully, they may be correct. Meltdown on social media mic drop became popular within minutes after the performance. The hashtag Team Snoop was popular. Hashtag Yoshihana rose to the top of the search results. Fans were pleading with Destiny's Child to watch by tagging them. Yoshihana didn't just win the knockout. One tweet said, "My spirit was won over by her." Snoop Dogg saying "MIC drop on national TV has changed me as a person," another person remarked. Her performance was described as unbelievable, legendary, and a level above by past voice stars. Conclusion. A finale in knockouts that was like a grand finale. One of the most thrilling, erratic, and combustible shows in recent voice history will be this knockouts finale. All of the coaches showed up to play. On stage, each competitor gave their all. But the moment that will live in the memories of generations. Yoshihana was named the night's mic drop by Snoop Dogg. It was more than a simple compliment. It was more than simply a slogan. It was a statement. Yoshihana is a future star, so live performances had best get ready. Because the live rounds might not be prepared for what's to come if this is what she does in the knockout stages.